Hey guys, the UK visa process is changing, which is kind of terrifying, but here is everything you need to know. If you are like me, I am living in the UK on a UK visa and I have a Biometrics Residence Permit, a BRP. All visa holders will have this card. It kind of looks like a little photo ID, a little driver's license kind of vibe, and it has all of your visa details on it, your expiry, what you're allowed to do, what you're not allowed to do, your little photo, everything. And you use this BRP when you're applying for jobs, when you're applying to rent a house, at customs. It basically proves that you're allowed to be in the UK. However, the UK government is getting rid of this card. And instead of having a physical card, they are doing an electronic service called a eVisa. So by December 31st, 2024, all BRPs will expire, but that doesn't mean your visa will expire. The Home Office has all of your details, right? They've got all of your visa details, they've got all of your personal details. However, they want you to register for the eVisa. Now, I've just completed my eVisa. I messed up. I could not figure out for the life of me what I was doing wrong, but I figured it out. So I want to show you guys from start to finish how to apply for this eVisa, which is required. You must register for it before your BRP expires, and all of our BRPs expire together. Now, first up, you cannot register for the eVisa until the Home Office emails you. So if you haven't gotten the email yet, you can certainly watch this video so you know what you're gonna do, but you can't actually do the process until you have been emailed. Now, what will you need? Well, this process asks you things like your date of birth, your BRP number, your passport if you don't have a BRP, access to an email and a phone number, and access to a smartphone. Part of the process has to be done on a smartphone, which is very interesting. So you absolutely have to have one, or at least use somebody else's. Also, a heads up, you are required to take a picture of yourself, a selfie, and submit it on behalf of your sort of like details. And this photo is used. It's associated with your profile, which I did not realize. So when I did this process, I had just woken up, I was in my pajamas, my eyes were crusty, and it was like, okay, now it's time to take a photo. I didn't know. So just a fair warning, if you want to perhaps make yourself a little bit more presentable, this photo is actually used and you will see this photo associated with your eVisa. So just a heads up. All in all, it took me about 15 minutes. I did mess up, which I will show you how I did that in a second. I would definitely recommend doing this process start to finish. Don't do part of it and come back to it later. It's too confusing. So step one, you're going to get an email from the Home Office. And in that email, it's going to say you need to create a UKBI account to access your eVisa, and there'll be a link. So you wanna click the link and start following the prompts. So a lot of the questions are pretty straightforward. Just take your time when answering them. You don't want to make a mistake and then submit, because fixing a mistake after submitting it is very difficult. Have you ever had a biometric residence permit? Yes. Do you still have your BRP? Yes. Is your BRP still valid? Yes. If you are like me, you have your BRP card, it's going to expire in December. You're going to do this process before it expires so you don't cause yourself any extra headaches. So you still have your card and it's still valid. So then it says, great, now you can create an account. Wonderful. Who are you creating this account for? Me. What is your name? Wonderful, easy. What is your country of nationality? Now some of these are actually drop downs. It doesn't look like it, but you start typing like Canada and then it comes up and you can select it. So you don't have to worry about like formatting it wrong, or maybe it just wants the country code. Some of these are actually drop downs. What identity document are you using? Now, pause. This is kind of where I went off the rails. I thought it would be more beneficial to register for the service using my passport, because my passport I'm gonna have for so much longer than this BRP that's gonna expire. So I thought, okay, great. I clicked my passport, I went through all of these prompts, and at the very end it said, ooh, we can't do that. And actually the end screen kind of looked broken. It said passport. You cannot use your passport. Like, it looked like the page was broken, but it did say, no, you can't do that. So I don't know, as a Canadian passport holder, I'm not allowed to use it, whatever. I said, okay, forget it. I go back and I try to do the system again. This is where I actually messed up. There is a page on this process thing that says sign in or sign up. Of course, we need to sign up first, right? But I wasn't paying attention. I had just woken up and I went sign in. And it asks you similar questions. And then I get to the end and it says, ooh, those details don't match our records. And I'm thinking, what? So I do it again and I do it again. And I couldn't figure out why these numbers weren't working. And then I realized I had clicked on sign in and not sign up. So for whatever reason, if early on in this process, you click away or you mess up or whatever, go back to the email that you got from the home office, use that link and pay attention, because you need to sign up before you can sign in. Honestly, this took me a long time to figure out what I was doing wrong. So avoid my mistakes. All right, anyway, I got back to this point. I finally figured it out. I used my BRP instead of the passport. Do you want someone else to have access to your account? I said no, but obviously it's up to you. Now, there are a couple of points where it stops and it lets you check your answers. Do check them, make sure all the numbers are correct, because again, once you submit it, then being able to change it, it's really messy. The home office does not make things easy. So let's do it right the first time. Next up, they will send you an email. So you're gonna get an email to the email address that you used on this account, and then you're gonna follow another prompt. So at this point, essentially, we've made an account, but it's not linked with our visa yet or our identity yet. So what I did was I signed in. Now I could sign in. So for the sign in prompts, it's gonna ask you your BRP number. It's gonna ask you how you wanna receive your code, a text or an email or whatever, and then you're able to sign in. But when you sign in, there's not your visa there yet because you haven't gotten that far in the process. So the next part of this process is actually switching over to your smartphone. So I signed in and there was nothing there. I thought, okay, what am I supposed to do now? And then I gave it a second. I think I refreshed it, or I signed back out and I went back in. And then it said, oh, by the way, you need to download the UK Immigration ID Check app. So you can just search it on your mobile. It's in the app store, and you'll see that it is released by the Home Office. That is the actual one. When I did it, it has 1.5 stars. So I went ahead and I downloaded that because I was like, okay, let's get going. And then when I refreshed my login to the eVisa on the desktop, it gave me a QR code. So it did update and it's like, hey, download the app. Here's the QR code. The app's whole purpose is a way to verify who's actually making this account and taking your photo and that kind of stuff. So you'll have a couple of screens at the beginning just saying what's gonna happen, what you're going to be doing, that sort of thing. So it's gonna ask you for details on your BRP, and then it actually asks you to scan it, take little photos of it. It takes photos of it, but you line up your card on a brightly lit table or surface, and you hover over it and the app takes photos of it. So it'll do that for both the front and the back. Just follow the prompts. It's actually pretty straightforward. Then it also scans it, which is pretty cool. I didn't realize that there's a little chip in the BRPs, kind of like a passport. So again, you have your BRP flat, you put your phone on top of it and it scans it. How fun. Then you're gonna scan your face. So this is not the photo part. This is just a weird thing where you hold your phone quite close up to your face, and then it flashes a bunch of different colors, and then that's it. So after they scan your face with the flashing lights, it says, right, now it's time to take a photo. And like I mentioned, I was disgusting. So I put my phone down, I washed my face as quickly as possible. This photo is used, and when you log in to view your eVisa, that is the picture that comes up. So do with that information what you will. It tells you very specifically how the photo needs to be framed. So there needs to be clear image of yourself, not too many shadows. Nothing behind you, so find like a clear wall. I had my partner take it in front of one of our blank hallways. Like there's nothing on the wall. It was fairly bright. I didn't smile because the photo references didn't smile, but I don't think it actually says you can't smile. I just took it like a really ugly passport photo. So then the app gives you the option of going back to like where you were doing the application on a desktop or on a laptop, or continuing it with your phone. Humble opinion, just continue with your phone. Signing in and out of this process is kind of annoying, so just stay with your phone. You probably only have a couple minutes left anyway. Now, whether you continue on your phone or you want to go back onto the desktop, the next part of this whole process are these 3 steps, and you have to do them in order. They only unlock as you like make your way through them. So identity and contact. We have confirmed our identity. Taking the photo, doing the scan of your face, that is completed. So the next section is contact preferences. It basically just asks you, what's your phone number? What's your email? It doesn't have to be the phone number and email that you used previously. It could be a different one, but they need to be able to contact you somehow. Next, it's account security. So you are going to get 3 sets of questions. You have to pick 1 question from each set to provide extra security for your account. So questions like, what is the name of the first school you went to? What is the name of the city or town you were born in? Which city or town was your father born in? Very straightforward. Pick 1 question from each, fill in your answers, and hit save. So that is account security questions done. Finally, we have submit request. So the declaration is basically, I mean, you filled out a visa before, right? You have a BRP already. The declaration is basically one of those where, yes, I've submitted all the information as best of my ability. I haven't lied, I've been truthful and all that kind of stuff. So all of these extra little categories are completed. The next thing is just hit submit. Your information has been submitted. So I completed this on a Tuesday morning. I got an email from the Home Office Wednesday afternoon that my eVisa was ready to view. So once you submit, finish, leave the service, wait, you'll get that email. For me, it was 24 hours. And then you can sign in using the information you provided when you created your account. You can sign in and then you can see your eVisa. And I definitely would recommend signing in and checking it. First off, you're gonna see that photo that you took. Mine was not very good. But you're also going to see all your personal details, all the things that you can do on your visa, all the things you cannot do, when your visa expires, what route or visa pathway you're on, like every detail is obviously way more in depth than your little card. And then at least you can't lose it either. But I would recommend checking to make sure all the details of your personal stuff on your eVisa is correct. And then you're good to go. So at this point, I'm not really sure what will happen in the future when you apply for a visa. After the BRPs are done and dusted, obviously that will no longer be part of the process, but perhaps the Home Office registers for an eVisa or you do, I'm not really sure. But moving forward, we will no longer use the BRPs. We will only use this online service, which honestly is kind of a pain to sign in, but I would much prefer an electronic service rather than having that little card and forgetting that card everywhere, misplacing it. You travel without it and then you forget to bring it. It's like just a mess. So I don't know about you, but I have a visa coming up in 2025. So that'll be my first visa without a BRP. So it'll be interesting to see how that process is different. And I will let you guys know how it goes. If you have any questions, please leave a comment down below. Definitely check out this video. I answer the most commonly asked questions I get as an expat in the UK. But until then, I'll see you in the next one.